can tell what a neat group of young people are with me today who are graduating seniors and the leaders in their respective units, 2 from Central and 2 from Lakeview, and I want you to introduce yourself and use your rank. Nathan.
I'm Vice Group Commander at Central High, Lieutenant Colonel Lee.
I'm the Special Assistant at Central High School, Cadet Colonel Doss.
I'm the Special Assistant at Lakeview High School, Cadet Colonel Stephanie Huntley.
And I'm the Special Assistant at Lakeview High School, Cadet Chief Master Sergeant Sofia Ramirez.
And I just learned that these 4 have chosen JROTC some time ago. Our 2 young people on the end have been apart for 3.5 years, and our 2 young ladies sitting right next to me have been in your whole high school experience. And another interesting thing that I had the opportunity to visit with these 2 young people from Central is they have people in their family, their extended family and immediate family who are military. What about you 2 young ladies? You're the first?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're leaving in July for basic training in Air Force.
Yes.
And Nathan leaves immediately within days of graduation, hours of graduation for Marine basic training. Wow. Okay, and do you have family in military?
Yes, my sister.
Wow. Which branch did she go?
She's Army.
Okay, so we have some Army. Cassidy's entire family, her sister, her mama, her daddy, and keep going.
My both grandpas, my aunt, uncle on my mom's side, my cousin on my mom's side, pretty much everyone.
So her other sibling, who is older, is in Air Force in Italy. And so she is going to ASU and continue in ROTC. And I'm amazed at young people who the majority of your peers as 14-year-old freshmen are looking to either party or watch TV, be couch potatoes. And there's nothing about being a couch potato, being JROTC. It is work, and it is learning leadership skills. It is lots of community service. It is learning to work as a team. It is having people sometimes tell you what to do. And why, as young, 3.5 to 4 years ago, was that attractive to you? Did anybody make you, or did you see something about this group? Because you have about the same numbers in your units at both high schools. Lakeview has about 150, and Central has around 163. So they're very similar in size. What about being a part of that big group was attractive to you?
Well, originally for me, it was just an easy way out of a PE credit. Is how it started for me.
That's not bad. But was it the easy way out?
Well, compared to having PE every day and then every other day seemed like the better option for me, but when I got in there, it just turned out to be so much more. Like, I used to always be just the quiet girl in class. Just don't call on me, don't look at me. I was just so shy, and now I ended up being the corps commander for the first semester, like leading a whole corps of cadets. So it really helped my self-esteem, and also it's not just a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun as well. You just have a whole family atmosphere that just welcomes you in and just brightens you up. You just blossom like a little flower, and there you go.
So what is fun about JROTC?
Well, there's many different things. For us, we love going and competing with other schools. We've been to, 4 competitions this year? And out of those competitions, you had anywhere from 15 other units going just to one. at a time and competing, getting to meet and see other cadets and see how they do their thing. Being able to have that kind of family-like environment there. You kind of start out with, you're a freshman not really knowing what's going on in the process, and then they start to learn and grow, and they grow on you and you grow on them, and y'all get that bond, and it's just that cool thing, having everybody around doing the same thing.
What kind of competitions? Give me example. I know there are a number of them.
For like our teams?
Yes.
We have an unarmed team, which is marching. We have armed team, which is marching with the rifles. We have saber team, which is with the sabers. They do that. PT, they go and do their push-ups and sit-ups and running and stuff like that.
And compete.
With other teams, or against other teams.
Color
we have
guards,
color,
too.
yeah, we have color guard.
And also an academic team.
And
as
they
well.
go and do, they answer questions, do all the smart stuff, and
Okay, you also, none of you yet have mentioned doing the thousands of hours, hundreds of hours you do for community service.
That's another plus. The things you get to do. Yeah, some aren't as enjoyable, but overall, being able to do some of the things and seeing how other people operate with other things.
and seeing the help that the things that we do to help the community and the people that we help whenever we do it and stuff like that. It makes it enjoyable.
What are some of the most pleasant or rewarding community service projects that y'all have done?
Ooh.
I think ours is working with the rodeo. Yeah,
What do you do at the rodeo?
We stand outside the grounds and we sell the programs. And we stand out there for hour, 2 hours, and sometimes it's cold and other times it's really hot, so the cadets are switching out and they take responsibility of each other, and we're handling money. They're trustworthy.
Absolutely. What about y'all? Are there any others that stand out in your memory that you feel a real sense of worth that you participated in that?
We help out a lot with Children's Miracle Network.
And we also, I think one that we have that's probably the longest is the Spring Chicken Affair, when we're there almost all day, helping with that. We normally direct traffic and stuff like that. And one of the upcoming events that we have, a Claybird Shoot, it'll be a 3-day event, and we're having hopefully 30 plus cadets come to that and help out.
Each day we have 30 cadets going.
And I know because I'm a tea pourer at the Chicken Affair for the West Texas Rehab, and it is either windy, hot, pouring down rain, and it is a long 3 hours. I don't normally look at my watch. I enjoy it immensely, but it's work. You're working the whole time, and those are the kind of things you all do. As one of you mentioned, some of them are really fun, and some are just long, tedious things that someone needs to do that task. What do y'all do for Children's Miracle Network?
We help with their events throughout the year. If they need people, they had the radiothon. We helped out with that, handing out the balloons and getting the money with that.
We can kind of sometimes be seen as the people in the background helping out run everything.
If they need runners to go do something, if they need people to go hand out something, we're there.
And you all have done your fair share of cleanup, which is not the fun part of something.
Not always fun.
Because why do people, I've never understood, smart people leave their trash? I don't understand that. But I, for one, am very grateful for the many, many hours. Do you have a ballpark figure for each of your units for this school year, how many hours you've performed?
We had close to about 4,000 hours, I think,
I
this
think
year.
it's 4,000.
Ours was pretty close in there too. Just, I don't know, because ours it includes not just community service, but color guards and raising the flags and just so many other things that all go together. It's not just strictly community service. There's so many other elements that factor into it as well.
Well, some people might not consider you all going to an activity and doing a color guard as a community service, but it is, you're giving of your time. And this city loves the military and loves America, and so they love watching young people like you do that it's short, but it takes a lot of work to be so synchronized, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of practice.
Countless hours.
Countless hours practicing. All right, some of you are going into the military long term, and you, Cassidy, mentioned to me your long-term goal is to work with dogs.
Yes, I want to work with the canine unit.
And how did you choose that?
I don't know. I've always wanted to work with animals. I thought about being a vet for a while, but I don't like needles or blood, any of that stuff. So, and I knew I wanted to go into the Air Force, and that was just, it clicked, is what I wanted to do.
And first you're going to spend your time over at ASU and their great ROTC program, and then leave after that. Do you do basic training before you graduate from college?
With the ROTC program, you do 2 years, and then after that 2 years, you have to sign up as an officer. And so I'll probably either find a job that I like as an officer, because you can't be a canine, you can't work with the canines as an officer. So I'll either find something to do there, or I'll stop the ROTC program and then do basic training and enlist afterwards.
Okay. And you're, in a very few weeks, going to go to basic training. Are you psyched up?
Yes, it's a lot of mixed emotions. Just I'm ready to go, but I'm anxious at the same time. But
What particularly do you feel you'll be good at, and what are you most nervous about?
Well, I have a job in intelligence though, so that's just kind of like that's my niche. Just like it's something that I enjoy doing. I don't know. There's so many countless possibilities to do with that. But the thing that I'm actually most nervous about is honestly just the PT, because I'm not like Superwoman or anything. I try to avoid running as much as possible, but I don't know, it's a part of life and I do it anyway.
I don't like it either. But I greatly admire those who do. And you, Sofia, are not sure. You know, though, where you're going to college, which is so neat. Tell us.
I'm going to attend BYU.
And that is a long way away. Do you anticipate? I went a long way from my family to go to college, and you're, Nathan, going a long way away from home, probably for the first time. And what are you most concerned about?
My mom.
Yep.
I'm just going to miss her a lot, and not being able to see her every day like I have my whole life. It's just, I'm anxious to it makes me nervous.
The difference in when I left and went several states away, we didn't have the technology. It was by phone or letters. You at least have Skype and other ways to daily communicate and stay in touch. And you told me that you're not quite sure about your major, but you certainly, I know, being a leader, know some of your strengths. Where would you think you might try first?
I'm leaning towards like foreign language, learning a foreign language, and I love traveling, so hopefully that can help me travel.
Well, you can't have too many foreign languages. That will give you a heads up over the masses in any job. Way to go. Do that. So I spoke briefly with Cassidy and Nathan ahead of time about when young people come into JROTC, and some of our audience may be thinking, I could do that. And I said, what are the rules? We know the military has rules, and so JROTC would have rules. And I asked them on the central campus, what rules did they think most kids struggled with the most? Now, tell them, and then let's see how that compares at Lakeview. What are the 2 rules you came up with?
Number 1 is PDA.
And the second one is uniform wear.
So explain to our audience, students will know what PDA is, teachers will know.
Central has its own standard rules, and when you first join ROTC, we have our own set of rules that higher the standards that we have, and one of them is the PDA rule. We've had a couple problems in the past years with it, and so we've had to raise it up a couple notches and get a little more strict.
And PDA is
public display of affection.
so that can be range from holding hands, hugging,
hugging a certain
kissing.
way as kissing. All
Okay,
those
now
little things
keep
you
going.
say.
So what I heard you just say is the campus as a whole has rules about public display of affection, but ROTC has even stricter rules. Is that what you said?
In a general sense, Central has its own set of school rules, school dress codes, policy, stuff like that. Well, we have our own, and we set our bar a little higher than what Central does. And we do that for our cadets. That way, when they see their friends breaking the rules, slouching a little bit, and their friends want to know, well, why are you so strict, uptight about us? I don't want to show myself off in a bad way, because a lot of people know, first appearances of how you meet somebody can normally set it for a long time, and it might take a couple of years. So just to change that image of yourself in someone's mind.
And the teachers know which cadets are in ROTC, so when they see our cadets acting up or breaking the regular school rules, it looks bad on our core and, it looks bad on us. So when we set the rules higher, they look better in the teachers' eyes. The teachers expect more from our cadets.
And then the second rule that we haven't really talked about is the day of the week that you have to wear your uniform. And it has to be worn correctly, not sloppily. You're tied over to the side, and you wear a cap between classes.
That's right.
And so some cadets struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so those were the two rules they say kids have had the most trouble with. There are others.
Mm-hmm.
How does that fare over at Lakeview?
It's kind of, a lot of it is the same though, because it brings us back to our core values is integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And that brings back, like Cassidy made a good point about excellence. And the teachers do expect excellence from us. If they see us lacking in class, they know that we have more potential than that. And then they're like, oh, well, you're in ROTC, isn't that, they have more of an expectation for you. And like they did say, people actually look up to us because we're role models in our school. So they know we're not only leaders in the core, but we're leaders about our school, about the community. So other or other students, I should say, see us, and then they want to strive to be more like us. But it's very tough to motivate cadets a lot of the times to uphold that, because we're very proud of what our core stands for, and let's say just all the values and stuff. But
well, so is there a particular rule besides just doing what they're supposed to do in class that you think cadets struggle with more than what they've just talked about, public display of affection and wearing your uniform a certain day of the week?
I guess the way we speak to each other. We become really close as a family, so we start to talk and play with each other. And sometimes it's a humor that's not very funny for other people. If the sergeants hear us, they're like, please don't speak like that. Or they tell the upperclassmen and tell an underclassman, have a word with that cadet. They have us take care of ourselves. And I think that.
You all monitor your peers before, not relying on just your adult, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do, to take correction from someone your own age. That's hard. We sort of bristle sometimes at that. Your units have, as you said, are role models. You have higher standards for yourselves and for your fellow cadets, and you police each other. So young people are telling other young people, you need to not be turning in your homework late or coming to school tardy. You don't wait for a teacher. So those are standards that are part of the core values you were just speaking of. And I think when young people can graduate from high school and already accept that as part of their chosen life, nobody made you all do this.
Oh, yeah.
I've had in my past, since I've been here, I interviewed this great young cadet from one of your high schools, and she said her mother made her the first semester of her 9th grade year so that she would have better manners or something like that, but then she stayed in and learned to love it. But that's the only one where I've heard someone say they were made to do it. You all chose to do this, even if it was to get out of PE. Little did you know you were going to be marching and sweating and working, did you? Well, if you had one wish for an 8th grader right now, why would you hope they would consider trying ROTCs at your high schools?
For us, if you plan to go military-wise, even if you don't, our senior ASI, who is Lieutenant Colonel Lopez, and our instructors, Chief Master Sergeant Prince and Master Sergeant Marquez, they can also help you open doors for you. It's one of those things, you join and you get to know them and they get to know you, and the more you try and figure out what you want to do, they will help guide you in the right direction. And there are many doors that our Lieutenant Colonel can open for you. Anywhere he can give you great advice. Any one of them can. And it's one of those things, if you really are not sure where you want to go with your life or anything like that, give it a shot. It's worth it.
What about anybody else that you would hope an 8th grader would consider? You can get out of PE. Besides that.
Our corps has become like our families. Our colonel jokes around that, we're brothers and sisters in there. We pick on each other, we fight with each other, but in the end, we're there for each other.
A home away from home.
Yeah. The building at our school is it's our home. We go there to feel safe. We're not judged there. It's our family there. We become close to the people in there. We get to know the people. You get people that you can count on and rely on and you trust.
Exactly, because it's more than just a class. It really and truly is. It's a big family. It's a bonding experience. Because we also have our own building too, so you're not just walking into a classroom. The building that we also call the Bay, the cadets call it the house because it is our home away from home. It really is. So. And it's run by students. It's not necessarily run by your instructors. So your teachers, they're there, but they're not hovering over you the entire time. So it's a core. It's from the students. So if you want something to happen, you can make it happen.
Did any one of you? Let's see how quickly you'll be honest. Did any one of you any day during these 3.5 or 4 years want to quit?
Oh, yes. It's not easy doing what we do. A lot of people might see some of the negative things. Oh, I have to wear a uniform this day, or I have to do this. But it's one of those things where once you get started, you see that if you don't do it, no one else will. And so you have to lead the way instead of just being the one that follows.
So you think all 4 of you at least one day wanted to walk away? Well, but you didn't. And that is, you overcame that urge to quit when it got tough or you didn't feel good or somebody corrected you. You overcame that. And so what I think excites me the most about what you all have said is you are so ready for life, for a job, no matter what job it is, because somebody's going to tell you what to do. And you also are good teammates. You've realized you can do far more working as a team than if you're an island by yourself. Mm-hmm. Y'all impress me so much. I admire you. And I wish you all for the most wonderful years. You're fixing to enter the next phase of your life. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Way to go, young people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.